Hello students, welcome to engineering geology classes. In today's class we will discuss about the one more geological structure, that is unconformity. So in the image you can see the rocks which are present here. They are folded like this, right? And the rocks which are at the top, they are not folded, they are horizontal. And you can see a sharp demarcation between these two formations, and that line is called as the unconformity. So how it is formed, we'll discuss. So here also you can see there is an unconformity wherein the rocks which are present at the bottom, they are inclined like this, and at the top you can see there is a horizontal rocks and there is a line which separates these two formations. So unconformity, how to define? So unconformity, so it is defined as the surface of erosion or non-deposition occurring within a sequence of stratified rocks that separates the underlying older rock formations from the overlying younger strata. So once again I will take back to that image wherein I'll repeat the definition once again. So here, what is unconformity? And unconformity is defined as this surface of erosion or non-deposition. So this is a surface wherein, so what has happened, let us understand first. So these rocks have formed first, then they have become inclined, and later after they become inclined, there was a gap in the deposition, and after that again the deposition of the beds has started. So that indicates the line of unconformity. So what is the unconformity? This line, okay, which shows the surface of erosion. So either after the formation of these beds, during that gap, what has happened? Either the erosion has taken place or there was no deposition on that surface. So that surface wherein there was a erosion or non-deposition which is occurring within a sequence of stratified rocks. Stratified rocks are the layered rocks that separates the underlying older rock formations. So these are the older rock formations which are underlying, and from the overlying younger rocks or younger strata. So that is the definition of unconformity. So it is what? It is a surface of erosion or non-deposition occurring within a sequence of stratified rocks that separates the underlying older rock formations from the overlying younger strata. So that is called as the unconformity, or in simple way, it is a break in the stratigraphic sequence. So there is a sequence of formation of rock, and in that sequence there is a break. So that break is called as the unconformity. So an unconformity indicates a gap or a time interval that has occurred during the formation of these two different set of rocks, and thus it helps in determining the history. The geological history of the rock is understood if you study the unconformity. So this development of unconformity, it involves different stages. Like the first stage is formation of older rock, okay, and then it is followed by upliftment or some erosion, and finally they have submerged, and after the submergence the younger rocks have deposited above the older formation. So here unconformity occurs in this way. Then let us then if the rocks are conformable or stratified continuously, then it is called as the conformable sequence. wherein the rocks are formed one above the other, there is no gap, then it is called as the conformable rocks. If there is an unconformity, they are called as unconformable rocks. Okay. Yes, then we'll discuss what are the different types of unconformity. So there are various types of unconformities. Depending upon the rock types involved and the tectonic history of that rocks, how they have formed. So the important types are, the first one is angular unconformity. So what is an angular unconformity? Here in the image you can see there are younger rocks and the older rocks, right? And I have shown here, this is the line of unconformity, and these older rocks, how they are inclined, whereas the younger rocks, they are horizontal. So angular unconformity, how you will define? It is an unconformity in which the rocks on either side of the unconformity, so this is the line of unconformity, we represent it by a zigzag line. Okay, when you draw a map, you have to represent the unconformity with a zigzag line. So this is what is angular unconformity. It is an unconformity in which the rock beds on either side of the unconformity, they are not parallel. One are horizontal and one are inclined, folded, faulted. So here usually here always the older rocks, they are either steeply inclined or they are folded or faulted, whereas the upper, which are younger rocks, they are either horizontal or they are slightly inclined. So this type of unconformity is called as the angular unconformity. So here upper layers are parallel or gently sloping, and the older rocks, they are steeply inclined or folded or faulted. So such type of unconformity is called as the angular unconformity. So this is the first type of unconformity, that is angular unconformity. Then we'll discuss the next type. So here there is one more example, field example, wherein you can straight away mark the unconformity, that is angular, because the older formations, they are inclined and the younger are horizontal. So this indicates the angular unconformity. Here one more image which shows there is a line of unconformity and older rocks, they are folded, okay, and the younger rocks are horizontal. So such type of unconformity is called as angular unconformity. This is one more wherein you can see the rocks are folded and there is a difference in the attitude of the beds. The next type of unconformity is known as disconformity. So what is a disconformity? So here, as it is shown in the image, you can see the rocks on either side of the unconformity, they are nearly parallel. So disconformity covers a large area and it represents a considerable interval of time. So disconformity is one in which the rocks on either side of the unconformity, they are parallel or almost same. Okay, then they are called as disconformity. Okay. Then the next type of unconformity is non-conformity. So what is a non-conformity? So here you can see there are two different types of rocks. Okay, the older ones are granitic rocks, and the top one you will find the sedimentary rocks, that is a sandstone, and granite is a igneous rock. So the unconformity which separates the older rock, they are of plutonic origin. Plutonic is they are formed at great depth. The example is granite. Okay, and these rocks, they are overlain by the sedimentary or volcanic rocks. So such type of unconformity is called as non-conformity. So what is a non-conformity? The unconformity in which the older rock is of plutonic origin and which is overlain unconformably by the sedimentary rocks or the volcanic rocks. They are also layered rocks. So they are such type of unconformity is called as the non-conformity. So here this indicates there was a prolonged erosion that must have occurred before the exposure and burial of these rocks. Okay, so older igneous formations, they have been separated from the younger sedimentary formations along the rough surface. You can see here that is marked with the UU, that is the unconformity. So such type of unconformity wherein the older rocks are igneous origin, that is plutonic igneous rocks, and upper rocks, they are sedimentary or the volcanic rocks, then it is called as the non-conformity. Then the next type of unconformity is a local unconformity. So it is similar to disconformity. What is disconformity? I told you, wherein the rock formation on either side of the unconformity, they are parallel. So it is similar to disconformity, but is this, as the name implies, it is very local in extent. Then the term local unconformity is used. So the local unconformity is a disconformity of smaller extent which is limited to a local area. Then it represents the unconformity of short interval of time. So it is called as local unconformity. Then next is regional unconformity. So what is regional? When an unconformity in which the unconformity of one region is found elsewhere in another region of same type, then it is called as the regional unconformity. So this is very much useful in correlating the rocks. Okay, so suppose there was a rock formation or similar type of formations, you will find it somewhere else. Okay, during the same stretch, in the same stretch if you find, then that shows there is a regional unconformity which was existing over a wide area, okay, over a region. Okay, then it is called as the regional unconformity. Then next, the last type is blended unconformity. So blended unconformity in which a surface of erosion may be covered by a thick residual soil that grades into the underlying bedrock. So here the older rocks are formed and younger rocks are also formed, and in between whatever gap is there, in that gap, that is the unconformity, there is a presence of layer of soil. Okay, residual soil is present in that, in place of unconformity. Then the younger sediments, they are deposited above this surface of erosion and they incorporate some of the residual soil, and a sharp contact may be lacking. So such contact is called as the blended unconformity, wherein the erosional surface is covered by a thick layer of residual soil. Okay, so these are the different types of unconformities which are very important. Then how you will detect them in the field? Okay, it is very easy. You have studied all the types now. So presence of unconformity in the series of rocks, they may be recognized by following features like suppose the older rocks are inclined and younger rocks are horizontal, then what type of unconformity it is? It is an angular unconformity is confirmed. Then if there is a presence of layer of conglomerate rock or which separates the formations, okay, younger and older formation, that also indicates an unconformity. If there is a presence of residual soil, then that shows the presence of blended unconformity. okay, and there are few evidences like there is a change in the degree of metamorphism, or there is a change in the intensity of folding, or sometimes you will get the different fossil records or paleontological records, that is the presence of fossils. In the older rocks you will get some different fossils, and in upper layer you will get some different fossils. Such change in the evidences also indicates there is a presence of unconformity, so which are formed in different environment, okay, so that indicates the presence of unconformity. Then what is the engineering consideration of such unconformity? So these unconformities, it may be of any type, they indicate what? The break, or that is a discontinuity in the sequence of the rocks, such as their presence, if overlooked, then they can be a source of considerable error in the qualitative judgment about the site for a particular project. Suppose if there is a dam, okay, yes, suppose this is a site wherein this is a cross section, okay, and here the rocks are inclined, okay, and here the rocks are horizontal, and if your proposed site for a dam here, then this becomes the reservoir area, and here as the rocks are older and horizontal, right, there is a presence of unconformity. So if you construct a dam here, what will happen? This unconformity, it acts as a weak zone, okay, it is a gap in the sequence. So this type of unconformity may cause the water seepage. So whatever water was supposed to be stored in the reservoir area here, it will start seeping through these gap. So such type of observations you have to make when you deal with any type of projects like dam, tunnel, okay. Then the behavior of rock above and below the unconformity, that will be different, because the rocks which are present below and above, they are not same, right, so they show variation in their properties also, and therefore they affect the stability of the project. So there may be a presence of weak rock, then the strong rock, so you have to test the rock whether everywhere the rocks are same, or if there is a change in the rock formations, then you have to check the properties of all the rocks, okay. Then unconformity makes a weak contact which will allow percolation of water and may behave as a bedding plane or a fault plane towards the forces which are imposed from the top, okay. So this unconformity acts as a weak contact plane which allow the water percolation in case of dam or a tunnel also, right. So this plays a very important role, okay, in case of construction of any type of structure. So this is all about the unconformity, which is a very important structure when you deal with the construction of dam, tunnel. You have to study all the rock formations properly before dealing with any type of project. Thank you.